What's up, guys? It's John at National Sports Entertainment, and I wanted to go into a couple interesting commonalities we have here regarding the Stanley Cup and the Finals. And obviously, one's been pointed out to death. It's the fact that we have two Florida teams, 8 seeds, made runs. Actually, it looks like I think the Heat had more wins, 2 more wins, but even the wins for both of these teams is almost pretty close to the same. And yeah, a lot of it is just very interesting. Now, there's more than one commonality I noticed besides, again, both teams being underdogs from Florida. A second commonality that's pretty interesting is, and again, it goes along with my color theory, kind of online with UConn, and again, predominantly that red and white for the Panthers, is falling in line with the other teams that have won, Bulldogs, red, white with that black, which is what the Panthers have, and the Chiefs. So I find that interesting. And I have the Panthers winning, just so you know. I have them winning the series. The reason I'm not going to go into individual games here is I don't know anything about hockey. The reason we did so well picking this system earlier this season is because it's just about metrics. With playoff hockey, I'm not, I'm not equipped, in my opinion, to sift out narratives. I'm sure they're there as far as, players that, have narratives and all these things, but it's not one that I'm ridiculously well-versed on. But there are interesting things I've noticed. So, again, we have the Florida 8 seed, this improbable story. And I think a lot of people are expecting, a split where, one of these teams wins, one loses. I think they both win. And another interesting thing I noticed is not only do we have the Heat versus the Nuggets, right, with the same type of idea, but if you think about it, the Heat are playing the Golden Nuggets, and the Nuggets equals gold. And then here we have the Golden Knights, and it's Vegas, so it's not even like it's the same. If it was Denver or a Colorado team, that makes sense because it's gold. But it is kind of interesting that we have the Vegas Golden Knights and we have the Denver Nuggets, who are obviously gold, and their colors are as such. So I find this very interesting. And honestly, the gold in general is pretty darn interesting to me. There's not a lot of teams with gold. And, 3 of the 4 teams that are going to the at the same time, essentially, that their respective finals are gold teams. They have gold somewhere on them. And what's even more interesting is, people keep bringing up Heat burns gold, right? So I guess it's almost like that rock, paper, scissors here. Who wins between gold and a Panther? I don't know. But now, all seriousness, I do think that it's not a coincidence. We got it in Vegas, of all places, and all these different things. And that's another thing. I think there's going to be a lot of red herrings with Vegas this year because they understand it's a new market. People are at the least a little more likely to bet Vegas, their home team, than they are other teams. I can also see people with the logic thinking, oh, Vegas, they win, so their teams will win. All these different types of things. So I'm going to keep my eye on Vegas. I liked them for the Super Bowl at first, and then I'm like, I don't know. That would be really obvious, and in Vegas of all places, I think they might make Vegas not do so well. Fun fact: the Raiders were the last team to finish a spread. So they were the last team to cover a spread this year. The Vegas Raiders. So they do these type of things that I find interesting. I think they started off 0-5, and then they finally covered one. But not to get too off tangent. I just thought there was a couple similarities here. If it was just the Florida thing, I probably wouldn't have even done a video. But I did either way. I wanted to get out there that, I wanted to confirm. I like the Panthers to win this series. I think they will win the Stanley Cup. Sticking with my red and white theory. And with some other things I noticed. Like I said, I do find it interesting. We got 2 Florida teams playing, 2 of the only gold teams in the entire leagues. I don't know how many we have gold in the NHL. I know it's a few more. I think the Avalanche have some gold. I think I'm almost positive the Bruins do, but for the most part, it's you get predominantly your blues, your reds, the colors that the blacks that everyone is used to seeing, a couple greens, but to have gold on both of these teams I find interesting, especially I just gone over the what I thought was an interesting coincidence with the Heat and the Nuggets. Besides the Heat burning gold, the Heat play for. They were with FTX, crypto, switched to the IT arena, the Kayasa or Kaysaya, whatever it's pronounced, beat TD Ameritrade, Boston, and now they're going up against gold. So it is interesting. I know a lot of people mentioned like the fall of the dollar, and maybe it's more even prevalent here with, again, two teams here that, with gold in them, and we'll have to see what happens. So I found it interesting. This is, nothing crazy, nothing earth-shattering. Just because of the colors, I like the Panthers. All of the other stuff to me is nice secondary things. But again, for the series, it's going to be good money line on the, like, not money line. For the series, it's going to be good odds on the Panthers. So I see no reason not to take them. I like them. I have liked them since... Well, I basically liked the winner of them and the Hurricanes, or them and the Hurricanes. So now someone brought to my attention that they're closer to the Yukon colors than the Hurricanes were. The Hurricanes were red and black with sometimes more black, and the Panthers here obviously are more equal with the red and white, and then the blue and gold kind of taking up 10%. So I do agree with that. I think the Florida Panthers are a little closer to UConn's colors, whereas San Diego State was a little, in my opinion, darker than these other jerseys, predominantly black, and just not to me the same as the Chiefs and these other teams, UConn especially. So yeah, I like the Panthers. I'm not saying I like them tonight. I'm not playing hockey tonight. I just took for the series. What I would say is it was minus 140, honestly. Maybe it's just me. I think minus 140 is a pretty interesting line here. Again, I haven't watched too much into this, but here you have a team with significantly more wins. I think coming into the playoffs, significantly a favorite, so let's just equate it to basketball, and look where they got the Heat. The Heat are at plus 300, and then they got the Panthers at plus 160. For this game one, that seems a little light. So if I had to, for game one, I'm actually liking Florida, just off the lines. But my bigger pick and the one that I have way more conviction is that the Panthers win the Stanley Cup. So nothing crazy, nothing, earth-shattering. And I'm going to be going into, obviously, basketball again. I did do my predictions. If you want to watch that video, it was done yesterday, or it might have been done 2 days ago, but it's my last basketball video. And I also want to say just thank you, everybody that watched my last video and is on, wants to be a, part of the rig system for baseball. As I said, it's been tremendous to us with hockey, with baseball, with all the sports essentially, and to all the people. It's essentially, really overwhelming. Just the amount of people that came through, showed support immediately, and I know you guys did not have to. So it really means a lot to everybody that's coming through on and helping out in any way they can. And all I can say is, that just makes me want to come through, even more. And obviously I can't control how the games go, but it really makes me want to just nail it. And instead of winning 100 units this year, win 200, because it really does mean the world to me. So again, I'll probably be thanking you guys for the next 20 videos for, everyone, but, specifically the people that, yesterday saw my video going over my new plans and things of that nature, the membership plan and all that stuff, and they just were amazing. You guys have been awesome, and again, I know you guys have no reason to do that, so it really means a lot to me. So yeah, I love the Panthers. Let me know, as I said before, about live. Nothing's really. I think tomorrow at 7's like a perfect time, 6 to 7. If I do it later, we can kind of talk live while the game's going on. Yesterday, a few people wanted to do that. It was like 2.5 hours in. My head was starting to get freaking hot from the headset and stuff. And people were kind of also getting a couple people were probably getting ready for dinner, ready for the game. So I've I don't usually just have a time frame. Yeah, I try and keep it not much longer than 3 hours because I don't want to bore people. But to be honest, if people stay and people want to do it, we can do it. We can do a long stream, and we can go at least into the first quarter, second quarter, see what's going on. And as I always do, we just play it by ear with the lives. I listen to the people. People are watching. That's cool. People are deciding. All right, time for me to do something else. Then we kind of shut it down. But yeah, let me know whether 6 might be better or maybe something closer to 7:30. So that way we can kind of segue it into the game. So again, always take care, everybody, and happy earnings.